Hey guys, this is Marcus from Big Time Super Friends, and this is my review of Phoenix Forgotten. Now guys, typically I don't recommend movies that have found footage kind of stuff in it. It just, personally for me, I think it's typically a gimmick. I typically just stay away from those type of movies like The Blair Witch and all that good stuff. But the thing that made this movie different is aliens. I mean, for me, I am a huge sci-fi. Anything alien related, I'm fucking there. I'll eat it all up. I loved this movie. I was pleasantly surprised, and I was even more surprised when I found out that it was produced by Ridley Scott, which kind of makes sense because it was this movie was a little better well made than your typical found footage type of movie. The plot revolves around three teenagers by the names of Josh, Mark, and Ashley. And after the Phoenix Lights happened in 1997, he and his friends go out to the desert to kind of investigate and to get kind of to the bottom of what all these lights were and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, they're found missing. Well, they're not found missing, but they went missing. And that's where the story kind of essentially starts. Josh's younger sister, Sophie, she is making a documentary about her brother and the missing friends that he was on the journey with. So right then and there, it was kind of a pretty good twist. Not twist, but a good addition to the movie. And if this movie was 100% found footage, I think I would not have liked it. But the fact that it went from going to the found footage stuff back to reality, it kind of evened out the tone. It pushed the story a little bit better, and it just made it more intriguing. Partway through watching this movie, I kind of really started to dig it because for some oddball reason, this movie turns into, and this movie is a giant mystery, right? The sister Sophie's trying to find out what the fuck happened to my brother and his friends. Why did they go missing? What was in their abandoned truck at this certain spot? Why was it here? I mean, why was his camera in the truck and not with him? I mean, there's a lot of questions that are raised throughout this movie that you're just kind of like, yeah, why would that be there? Why would he leave the camera in there? And why would the truck be parked here? And so it kind of made it kind of very interesting for me. And I almost, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, let's find out what happened to get, like, this is my train of thought as I'm watching this movie. It's like, yeah, let's go and find out, let's go through the desert and all this stuff. And it's kind of, it's a very, very cool movie, I gotta say. The one thing that kind of made it, like, really interesting, like, when the movie stepped up a notch, right? It's kind of a slower pace kind of movie for the first half. Not too slow, but it's pretty kind of, nothing crazy is happening in the first half of the movie. But right where things picked up a little bit was when the sister Sophie is reviewing all of her brother's tapes that he recorded on his camera. They found his camera inside the truck that was abandoned, and that was kind of like a red flag in Sophie's mind, because it's like, he would never leave. He always had the camera with him. Why would the camera be in the truck? Of course, it's later explained, and it makes perfect sense as to why it was in the truck. But, so, all the tapes that they have in evidence, the family has as evidence, was pretty much all the tapes leading up, leading Josh and his friends up to the the desert or the area that they were going to investigate, and the tape that was inside the actual camera itself only took him so far. So past a certain point, you're kind of like, oh, they've reached a dead end. Like they have no more information as to what happened, because the tape only takes them up to so far in their journey into investigating. And then the moment where it picked up for me just to another level, where it kind of like re-engaged me in this whole like investigation kind of thing, was, well, they found out that there was a secondary camera that the female character Ashley had rented out from her high school. And that's where it, like, you know, you got you got pumped back up again. You got reinvested in the story itself. And as it turns out, the last moments that were caught on tape were in the secondary camera. It's all fried to shit. It looks like, you know, there's sand all over it. There's melted parts on it, and they're struggling to get the last tape out of the camera. And I won't go too much into what's in the tape, but a lot of it is already in the trailer. And you would expect, you know, this is a movie about aliens, so you get to see a lot of alien-related things in here that are just done so well. And the last 15 minutes of this movie, dude, I was grasping at my seats. Just, I was so tense. I was like, you had, at one point when you're watching either a scary movie or a horror movie or a thriller movie, you have this inner dialogue in your head, and it's kind of like, oh my god, get the fuck out of there. You know, like you're saying this to yourself. I had those type of moments the last 15 minutes, and I was just like, oh my god, like, get the fuck out of there, like, go. And it made, the ending was so good. The payoff was so good. And I liked how, they left it kind of, the one thing I would have, if I had to nitpick something on this movie, is I'd like to have known, and I'm going to try to be vague as possible. I'd like to have known how they got the camera from where it ended up to the school. That is something that they didn't answer. But in all honesty, I didn't give a shit about it. Like, I was so pumped from what I just saw, and the tension, the pacing, the visuals, the sound, everything in the last 15 minutes. If you're into aliens at all, if you're anything like me, you love aliens, and like mysteries and all that good stuff, and UFOs and stuff, you're gonna enjoy yourself. That 15 minutes alone is worth me saying, go watch this movie. It was done so well. And this is probably the only found footage movie I will ever say that about. So, what's my score of this? I almost want to say an A. But you know what? The future me will come back and slap the taste out of my mouth if I give it an A. Like, seriously. So I'm gonna give it a B minus. It's really, really, really good. Watch it. It's not getting a lot of, it's not on a lot of people's radars, which is kind of surprising. And, yeah, enjoy yourselves. Bye. Yeah.